the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will, and it's going to be back. It feels like I've been gone forever as I return from my vacation with the fam, and I have a lot to say, and I must say that I'm very, very, very happy. When I was gone, we picked up Xavier Lucas, and that means that we have five defensive backs that we picked up in the transfer portal for this offseason to set up a very, very promising 2025 season on the defensive side of the ball. Now, all we have to do is get that defensive backs coach, and we're going to see how far we go as a football team, how much improvement we made on defense. So I wanted to talk about this because the five guys we've gotten, they pretty much created depth because I do like the incoming young guys that are coming within this 2025 class. Plus, I also like the promise that we saw from OJ Frederic and what we've been hearing about with Ryan Mack as he battled injury this season, as we're probably going to have a very good defensive backfield for years to come, as many of these individuals that are coming in, plus the young guys like Ewald and Jabari Antoine are going to have, some eligibility in the process. So the gentlemen I'm gonna talk about are, of course, are Zachary Poyser, Charles Brantley, Ethan O'Connor, Emmanuel Carnley, and of course Xavier Lucas. Now, the first person I want to break down is Zachary Poyser. He really, really, really is going to provide some safety help, as safety was a position of weakness that we had this past season. As Poyser, who is listed at 6'2", 190 pounds from Jackson State, comes in with 3 interceptions and 8 pass deflections this past offseason. He was the second best safety coming out of the portal, only behind the gentleman that went over to Ohio State, the former Purdue defensive back. He's a great ball hawk. He can chase down very fast, chase down defenders, can tackle. Grew up a Miami Hurricanes fan, so that's great. It's always good when you get kids that really, truly wanted to be Canes. And the good thing about going to a school like Jackson State early on is that you develop, and then a Power 4 school can pick you up by the transfer portal. That's what the Canes did, and this young man has a lot of eligibility. Again, 3 picks and 8 pass deflections. Safety help is something that Miami really needs. I like him alongside, of course, Zaquan Patterson, who I thought also did show some promise as well at the safety position this past season, being such a good tackler. And I do like this combination, and I think it's going to be a very good combination. Of course, bringing in the guys like Amari Wallace and Bryce Fitzgerald as well. So I'm excited about this, and I am very excited to see what Poyser could do for Miami's defense. Then we got Charles Brantley. I like this pickup, right? Charles Brantley listed at 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, out of Michigan State. Michigan State has a pretty solid defense. 11th best safety coming out as well within the transfer portal. Could also play corner. 3 picks, 7 pass deflections as well. Could come off the edge, could blitz, highly athletic, very sure tackler as well. Won't lose his receiver in coverage. That's something that happened this past season. That's not going to happen with Charles Brantley. I like the athleticism. Ethan O'Connor, I like his size at 6'1", 172, out of Washington State. Okay, 4 picks, 8 pass deflections, breaks on the ball, long stride. He's very rangy. Looks a lot longer than being 6'1". So that's something that's going to be a nightmare for a lot of boundary receivers, or if they want to try him out a nickel, whatever the case may be. Then you have Emmanuel Carnley. Emmanuel Carnley is 6'3" from Arizona. Like the pickup, like the range, like the size. 50-50 balls, if he's on the guy, is going to be very difficult for the receiver to be able to make the play, especially if he's fronting the receiver as well. If he's able to get in front of the receiver in the red zone, that's the kind of guy you want, guarding a pretty tall wide receiver. Will provide depth. He's considered the 8th best cornerback in the transfer portal. So I'm excited that he is going to be a Miami Hurricane and is a Miami Hurricane. So all these 4 guys I've mentioned so far are going to bring a lot to the table. They're proven commodities, and they have some eligibility left with them as well. And of course, the young man I'm going to talk about is Xavier Lucas. Xavier Lucas with only 1 pick, but 2 pass deflections, but graded very highly at his position at cornerback out of American Heritage Senior High School. He was coveted. Wisconsin was on his recruitment early. Hence one of the main reasons why he committed to the Badgers. and Luke Fickell and stuff like that. Second best cornerback in the transfer portal. He's incredibly athletic, solid tackler, solid tackler. Will not miss on tackles. He will not over pursue. There's a highlight of him when he sacked the quarterback, how he just fronted him the whole time. And there's no way that quarterback could go. Very athletic guy. Could blitz as well. Very good. Good hands as well. I'm sure that as a Cane, he'll probably have more than one interception this season. Very physical as well. Again, I mentioned you could use him in blitzes. I'm going to go into a situation with Wisconsin. I'm not going to get so deep, but I do want to talk about, if you look at the combination. One second, guys. If you really look at what Miami has brought together collectively this past offseason in recruiting and this past offseason in the transfer portal, it's athleticism. Okay, experience combined also with athleticism. Athleticism can take you a long way, especially in the game of football. A lot of these guys, they have good hip placement when they're chasing down their receivers. They have good ball instincts. That's very, very good and very much needed. They don't take bad angles when you see them tackle on film. So that's something that was really missing from the defensive backfield this past season, for 2024, in Lance Guidry's defense, in Chevis Jackson's defense. And this is something that I do think, of course, I don't expect to see with Corey Heatherman's defense, as his guys over at Minnesota tackled well, showed very good instincts in terms of tracking the ball. 22 interceptions is nothing to sneeze at, okay, at all. So I'm very excited to see what he could do with these athletic type of cornerbacks, these safeties as well. The other thing, going back to Lucas, I like is that you can put Lucas at cornerback, or you can even place him as safety as well. He's a very versatile defensive back in the backfield. So I'm very excited to see Xavier Lucas and all these guys as well within a rotation as well. I do expect to see some of that as well, to say the least. So again, congratulations to Mario Cristobal. There was a need. He went out there, got the bull by the horns, and went and got it. Okay, and got these guys. And of course, his recruits are going to compliment these guys very well. I do see some rotation in the process as well. The only guys I do see probably Lucas at the boundary or Brantley at the boundary, pretty much running the show alongside a guy like OG Frederic, maybe a little bit Damari Brown, playing nickel. If you go for spread, you can see a guy like Carnley as well, or red zone, you see a guy like Carnley playing a cornerback at the boundary because of his size, in case they want to go through to a big receiver. Again, football is all about matchups. We all know that, and I do think that now Corey Heatherman is going to have guys he can match up with depending on what the scenario brings to him and who's on the football field on the offensive side of the ball, for his defense in the red zone or not red zone or between the 20s, whatever the case may be. I will say that. So I want to speak a little bit in light of what happened with Xavier Lucas in Wisconsin. I will say this. I have to give a lot of props to my good friend and a great friend of the show, Alex Dano. Alex Dano had a fantastic interview with Darren Heitner alongside with Bruce Warner, the truth teller. The way that Darren broke down the situation with Lucas and Wisconsin, because Wisconsin, the Big Ten, had a lot to say about this scenario, brings a light and brings a side of the relationship between player and also the institution that we really don't know about and really haven't seen. Basically, to watch that interview, I cannot play Darren Heitner whatsoever, but basically, Wisconsin, no matter what, couldn't hold Xavier Lucas, no matter what he signed, because collectives in general aren't really associated with the university. They're a part of the university in the sense that they're boosters in general, but they're not a part of the university. Like, a university cannot hold a kid hostage from entering the transfer portal because he signed some deal with an outside source. Then you get into revenue sharing according to the Big Ten. That's something that's being, from what I understand, is being talked about in Congress, hasn't yet passed. So my personal opinion, if I'm Wisconsin, I let this go, because if anything, whatever dirty laundry they have as far as maybe talking to players while they're not yet in the portal and so on, that could come out. So if I'm Wisconsin, listen, the kid didn't want to be there anymore. He has a father who's sick. He wanted to be closer to home. I think Wisconsin's better off just letting sleeping dogs lie and not pursuing any more litigation against the University of Miami or Xavier Lucas as well. So that's just where I'm at. I think that Wisconsin just needs to say, you know what? He doesn't want to be here. Just let him go. And that's it, because the kid was able to transfer without even entering the portal. He's enrolled in Miami. So So, que será, será. You know, that's pretty much what they say. So, bottom line is, but watch that interview, guys. Locked On Canes. You've got to check it out. Darren Heitner really breaks down the proceedings in general of what was going on with Xavier Lucas and what Wisconsin was not allowed to do, and pretty much the money side and NIL issues that that could surface because of this situation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard, I mean, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. If you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. I will be bringing you guys hopefully some interviews real soon. I'm working on something with the female boxer, Alessandra Pajuelo. All right, so I'm very excited about that as well. So she's going to be coming on the show soon. I hope to bring on some guests as well from the Heatverse, the Panthers verse as well, and of course the Canes verse as well. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Have a wonderful day, guys. All about the U. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.